this is your talk mic, though, right?
Yes.
So for your announcements, and you're going to introduce, you're going to just start playing. So as soon as we go live,
No, we're just going to start playing test.
Oh, okay. So you are here to hear JAZZphoria. This is Jean Fineberg and her retinue of fine musicians. Okay, enjoy your show. Is this really nice? Hold it. Ready? Is that yes? All right. Fineberg Beckett.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We actually have a crowd here tonight. I'm so excited. Thank you very much for coming out to this fantastic place in San Francisco. A lot of you might even be from the neighborhood, yes? Yeah. Great to see you. Big shout out to Eric Whittington, who owns this joint. A bookstore and a jazz club. Fantastic. So we really appreciate his having us here tonight. This is all original material. The band is called JAZZphoria, and we have a new album out. So it's actually on pre-sale right now. So this is our first concert with all this material that we're happy to play for you. That first one was called Bluesworthy. This is all my material except for one other thing that you'll hear tonight. This one is called Azul. Thanks a lot. So I wrote these tunes over the last 2 or 3 years at residencies, music composition residencies, which I would go to an art center and be composer in residence, and they would just leave me alone for 4 weeks, except for a couple of concerts, and get to write music. So it's wonderful. When I was there in Key West, I had one residency in Key West, Florida, which was a paid vacation. It was wonderful. And one day I was in a cab or an Uber, and the driver was from the Middle East, and he had some Middle Eastern music on, and it was funk music. And it was just so cool. I just loved it so much. So I went back to my room, and I tried to figure out, I researched some Middle Eastern scales, and I decided to write this tune using one of those scales. This is called raw bar. I have a trilogy called the Bar Trilogy. This one is raw bar. Later on, we're going to play dive bar. And I haven't written the third one. It's either going to be rebar or gay bar. I'm not sure.
Candy bar.
A candy bar. Oh. Nice big back. Maybe a stick even.
You want a stick?
On your left hand? Yeah.
I think both. One, two.
Oh. My apologies to anyone who is from the Middle East and really works in those scales. It was, I tried it not to be a cultural appropriation thing, but a cultural appreciation thing. I have a book of poetry coming out. It'll be out in March, and this is a mock-up of what it's going to be. So I thought, since we're in a bookstore, I might read some of the poems. So this one, I'm trying to see how I can get the mic so I can put it on a stand. This one is called the Rebel Flute. I wanted a clarinet, but my mother told me that it would give me buck teeth. I wanted drums, but who wants a power-drunk kid flailing away in the basement? So I got a violin, but after my parents endured 2 months of their resident screech owl, they gifted me with the perfect instrument for a girl. A flute. Erika's going to help me with this a little bit. So this is what I did with my flute. That's not in the poem, but oh well. I decapitated it and blew into the head joint. I need to raise. Oh, that's nice, Nancy. Blew into the head joint, spanking the open end, simulating turkey gobbles. I slid my thumb in and out of its orifice, grinning as it wailed like a police station. I gotta use the thumb. I use my other hand. I buzzed my lips on the embouchure plate as though it were a trumpet, which would have been so much cooler, convincingly mimicking farts. Bypassing the body and joining the head joint to the foot joint, I composed a 3-note ditty and entertained my family with infuriating regularity. You get the idea. I flapped the keys mercilessly. I'm preparing to flap. That's very nice, Nancy. My parents, if they had heard that, they would have gotten me a guitar, I think. I flapped the keys mercilessly, evoking the flutter of pigeons. Can you hear that? There they go. I twirled it like a baton. I wanted to be a twirler, but I was stuck in the band in my band uniform. I hummed into it while blowing, granting the timbre some cojones. I tooted along with rock records, pretending it was a flying V guitar. Then in college, it served as an easy entree. I took it everywhere, like a joey in its mother's pouch. And it became my voice. Finally seduced by its inherent sweetness, I embraced its gentle power. And now we turn air into music, like water into wine. Yes? Well, thank you so much. It's called Away with Words. Away with Words. And the reason it's called that is that when I first wrote it, I wrote it as a vocal tune. And I wrote all the lyrics, and I played it, and I thought about it, and I thought, the music says it by itself, and it didn't need words. So it's called Away with Words. This next tune, I'm going to introduce this band. We have here on piano, Erika Oba. On the bass, and she brought her upright bass tonight, but we couldn't fit it on the stage. It was either her or the bass. So we went with her. Jodi Durst on the bass. Back on the drums, and I hope you can see him, but I know you can hear him. Jeremy Steinkoler on the drums. And this next tune was written by our guitar player, Nancy Wenstrom. That's you. I'm talking in the wrong mic. Our guitar player, Nancy Wenstrom. And Nancy, would you introduce this tune, please?
Sure.
She goes, no, no.
No way. Whoa, yeah, it's tight up here. Well, hello, everyone. Yeah, it's great to be here. And I'm really happy that Jeannie has allowed me to have a composition on her album. She's such a wonderful composer. Yes? Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing. And I'm thrilled to have a song on her album as well. This song, I wrote this when I finished my college degree, which just was in 2018. No, I didn't study the whole time, but I took a long break, and I decided to go back to Cal Berkeley and finish. I finished in 2018. But I wrote this song during my stay there, and it's called Unfinished Business.
Nancy Wenstrom's tune, Unfinished Business. Now she has to go back to graduate school, and in 5 more years, she will write a tune called what?
Finished business.
That's right. I'd like to read another poem. This one is called Visitors. In my solitary apartment, I keep a window wide open so the moon can maneuver in and out. Iridescent aliens with grasshopper legs skitter through and sit around my dining room table. They always bring their own food. Their high-pitched chatter punctuates the melodies that I hear from the refrigerator. They are rumored to be afraid of cats. When Bastet died, she left meows in every room, but the aliens don't hear them. When I play my music, they twist and they twitch and they twirl with an amusing alien dance. And I twitch too, until dizzy drunk, we collapse on the carpet. Thank Goddess for these visitors, because without them, I might go mad. Thank you. This next tune is called Synesthesia. Does anybody here have synesthesia? What is that, you ask? It's a condition in which the neurons in the brain, are there any neurologists here? Oh, good. The neurons in the brain get mixed up and the different senses sort of merge into other ones. I have it. I have Grapheme Synesthesia, which is the most common. And in that one, a person sees all the letters and the numbers in color, specific colors. And it's weird because those colors remain the same throughout your life. And I remember when I was very young, I would see signs and I would tell my mother, that's wrong, the colors are wrong. And of course she thought, she thought I was seeing aliens coming through the window or something like that. But yeah, I have some other friends who have, there are other really cool kinds. I have a friend who has one where music notes have certain colors. So that's really cool. Anyway, I wrote this tune, Synesthesia, and there you are. This is not easy to dance to. If anybody would like to try to dance to it, go right ahead. Thank you. I think we're going to do one more tune for this set. Do we know what time it is, Erica?
We do. It is 8:19.
8:19. Okay, we're going to end this set with a tune I wrote called More Funner. And right after I wrote it, I found that a friend of mine, wrong mic, sorry, Angie. Right after I wrote this tune, a friend of mine, a piano player who was in a band that I was in, had written a tune called So Funner, or more something like that. Something not as fun as mine. So this one is More Funner. Eric, thank you again so much for having us here. What a fantastic place. And to anybody who might be live streaming online, hi. This is More Funner. Usually on this tune, we have a stash of Mardi Gras beads, because Mardi Gras is coming up. We have a stash of Mardi Gras beads. Say that 10 times. And I used to throw them out into the audience, but then I was advised that that could be dangerous, so we just sort of usually hand them out. And oh, by the way, so this is my quintet, but JAZZphoria is really an octet. It's the 5 of us. 1, 2, 3, right? The 5 of us and 3 more horn players, 2 trumpet players and a baritone sax player. And because the whole concept of the band is all these horns in front, and it's like way funner. That's what he called his tune, way funner. So shout out to our other horn players, Tiffany Carrico and Marina Garza on trumpets and Carolyn Walter on baritone sax. And if they're watching, we miss you. And the next gigs that we have will be the whole octet. When can you hear them? Where? How? Who and what? Our next show is in March, on March 20th at the War Memorial in San Francisco, at San Francisco Music Day at 4 p.m. And then in April, our official album release concert, when the album is officially released, is on April 15th, which is not tax day, because tax day is the 18th. So nobody can say that they can't come to the gig because they're doing their taxes. That's at the Jazz School, Rendon Hall at the California Jazz Conservatory in Berkeley. I have a website. It's jeanfineberg.com, and on there you can see our video where we all like smile a lot and act the fool, and you can see where our next gigs are. After this, we're going to take a 20-minute break, have several beers, and be back. Thank you. We'll be back. They're pretending that they can read music.
Jean, you want to count this in for me?
Okay, we're back. If anybody who's listening to the live stream lives in the Bay Area, you have got to come here to Bird and Beckett. It is so amazing. If you love books, and I do, there are just books everywhere because it's a bookstore. But it's just so cool because the combination of books and jazz and live music is fabulous, and it's all thanks to Eric. And I want to give a shout out to Angie on the sound. Thank you so much for the sound you're providing us with tonight. It's a very small area, and they cleared the whole thing out for the band. I appreciate it. So we're going to continue with another tune of mine. This is my nod to Bebop. It's called Hemiology. And everybody seems to think it has something to do with blood. But no. It's built on a hemiola, which is a musical thing where you have, it's like 3 against 4, and you have a little phrase that's in 3, but then it's put in 4, and never mind. We're just going to play it. Hemiology. It's the Jazz Police.
I thought that was a myth.
Now you know.
Oh, wait. Jean, give me 1 second. I want to change symbols.
We're having a symbol change.
Symbolic change.
I wasn't going to say that, but thank you for that. All the symbol jokes.
Okay.
Okay. You all know what to do. Thank you. We're going to continue with the second tune tonight from the Bar trilogy. This one is called Dive Bar, and just like everybody on the stage, I'm sure has played 1,000 million dive bar gigs, where you get up on the stage and you're there for 4 hours. And in New York, where I'm from, I know you couldn't tell from my accent, but we would start at 9, and we would end at 1 o'clock at night. And by the time we were done, there was nobody in the bar, or else everybody was drunk. People were yelling, "Get a room," stuff like that. And the band might have been a little bit drunk or stoned or something like that. And at that point, they were even forgetting the blues form. And for musicians, everybody knows the blues form. You can play it in your sleep if you're not really drunk. So that's where we're at this point. Dive Bar. Last call. Thank you. This next tune I wrote for my mother. She never got to hear it, but maybe that's not a bad thing. I don't know. She was a professional dancer, and she loved Latin music, and she had my sister and me in dance lessons from the time we were like in utero. And Erika's gonna do her other thing right now, aren't you? No, she's, well, you can dance, go right ahead. This is called St. Mildred the Short. She was 4'11". This is not my most expensive flute. That's at home. Why, you ask? No, you don't. Thank you, Erika Oba on the piccolo
Yeah.
and the flute. So yeah, we have some of our albums over here in case you're interested in one. We also have the album on a digital copy of the album. It comes on a little key drive. It's very cool, and that way you can do what you do with your drive. I think I'll read another poem. These are two poems. These are two short poems. They're called Fibonacci Poems. Leonardo Fibonacci was the inventor, or the discoverer, I should say, of what is now called the Fibonacci sequence. It's, you know, those spirals that exist in nature, in a snail's shell and in flight patterns and everywhere in nature. And he discovered the mathematical sequence that describes that spiral. And it has a particular sequence. It goes from 1 to 1 again, and then 2, and then 3, and then 5, and then 8, blah, blah, and it goes along. So someone decided to write a Fibonacci poem, which means the poem, the syllables are supposed to conform to the Fibonacci sequence. So if you can see this here, these are a couple of Fibonacci poems, and this is actually the sequence, and then the sequence just keeps going on into infinity, but then it comes down, and then it comes down again, or if you want to, you can make it come down again. So these are my Fibonacci poems. The first one is called Light Blue. You can't get mad at light blue, placid lake and eye. Red is another ball of wax, all hopped up, itching for an argument or a fight. Thank goodness for green, the great mediator, pointing out the pros and cons of each side. While yellow keeps whining, can't we all just get along? Purple stumbles in high on weed. Orange does the twist. Sometimes you just need light blue. So these are a couple. That was the blue one. Here's the red one. I like red wine better than flowers because you don't have to take care of red wine. You have to take care of flowers, but you don't have to take care of red wine. It takes care of you. Please bring wine next time you call. Thank you. Let's see. I think we will skip the next tune. How is our time going, Miss Erika? Ms. Erika? 9:07. Okay, let's do Key Westing. Is that what comes next? Oh yes. Okay. This sorry about that. This is a new tune of mine. We haven't done it with the octet yet, so it's being born tonight. It's called Smarty Pants. Just because I've been called that numerous times in my life. I don't know why. No idea why. As you can see, we are not one of those single gender bands. This next tune was also written at my residency in Key West, Florida. So I call it Key Westing. Thank you. I was in residency in Nebraska, Nebraska City, Nebraska. Anybody here from Nebraska? Oh, good.
Well, I lived there.
You lived there?
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, I was a little girl. Yeah, I ran into the cornfields and I thought,
Oh.
right.
It was actually very nice. It was right by the river, and yeah. Anyway, there weren't many stores. Nebraska City's not that big a town, and there aren't a lot of stores on the one main street. And there's one bar restaurant that everybody goes to, and it was called the Buck Snort. Now, not being a city girl as I am, I had no idea. I don't even know what a buck is, but I had no idea what a buck snort was. I figured like that, something like that, I guess. I think it is. And it was the oddest place because it was a bar, but it was also a restaurant, but it was full of kids. Parents would come with their children, and they would. I'm a vegetarian. There wasn't much I could eat there except for the French fries and the salad. So there were children there, and they're eating, and then there's all these people, like sort of drunk people at the bar, and all around the ceiling are taxidermy heads, big heads of bucks and snorts and whatever I don't really know. It took me a long time to tell the difference between a goat and a sheep. I do have, and you know, I'm embarrassed to say the thing about the cow and the horse, but anyway, all these big heads all over the place, and it was obviously a very meaty joint. So, but I went there a lot because it was so unusual to me. So, anyway, I named this tune is called Live at the Buck Snort Saloon. And before we quit, I want to thank Eric Whittington again, and I want for being the proprietor of this amazing place, and Angie on the sound. And if you haven't heard of the Independent Musicians Alliance, it's an amazing thing. There is a musicians union, and I belonged to it in New York for a long time, but the musicians union doesn't really cover small jazz clubs. It covers things like orchestras, pit orchestras, and the opera and things like that. So there's no regular pay scale for musicians who play the kind of gigs that we do, and you know, we play because we love it, but we also, you know, people are always offering us gigs for exposure. And I tried to pay my mortgage with exposure once, but it didn't work. So Mario Guarnieri and Eric and a bunch of people have formed the Independent Musicians Alliance, which is attempting to organize musicians and have basic pay scales, and all of us really appreciate that so much because it's so needed now. Okay, we are entering the Buck Snort Saloon. Oh, I found out what the snort is. It's like when they're mating, which is something you probably don't want to see, but like when they're mating, the buck, I guess the buck does snort, it's a mating call. That's what it is. Did you see any of those? I did not see them. They might have been there, but
Why'd you keep going back? No.
I don't do buck in any way.
The buck stops here.
Any other buck jokes? I don't give a buck. Okay, so, one, two. Thank you very much. There are many buck snorts I found, by the way. By the way, it is a chain, so you know you could get lucky someday, depending where you go. Thank you so much for coming. It's great to have a live audience here. I didn't know if you guys would come, but you're all masked and you're all vaccinated and you're all so healthy and you're here. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, anyone live streaming. Our website, my website, JeanFineberg.com, has all the JAZZphoria dates and all that stuff. Thank you. April 15th at Rendon Hall at the California Jazz Conservatory, Jazz School. It's on the website. And that's our full